Hi guys, so today I want to talk to you about what I eat in a day. Well, it's actually going to be what I used to eat in a day because I'm now on maintenance, so it looks a little different. And during this video, I'll explain some of the differences. But I'm a 67-year-old female, I'm 5 foot. I've been taking tripeptide for about 13 months. I've lost 60 pounds. I have used name brand a couple times. I didn't really notice any difference, but I primarily use the compound. My normal day for taking the medication is on Saturday, and I try to be consistent. I started off like everybody else on the 2.5 for a month. Then I titrated up to the 5 milligrams. Was on that for about 4 to 5 months till I hit a stall, and gradually moved up to 7.5 and then 10, where I continued to lose most of my weight. I did try 12.5, but I did not like it, as I found myself forcing myself to eat and drink, and I didn't think that was a good idea. So I titrated back down to 10, where I got to my goal weight of 118. So I am now bouncing back and forth between 117 and 120, somewhere around there. So I am in maintenance. But when I started, first I have to say that do as I say, not as I do, because I've never been a breakfast person, and Glp-1 medication didn't change that. So my typical breakfast is a protein shake, because that's about all I could do in the morning. But on other diets where they kind of forced me to eat, I would have hard-boiled egg and maybe a slice of whole wheat toast or a half of a whole wheat English muffin. And that was about it, because again, I'm not a big breakfast person. So just some protein and some complex carbohydrates, which makes for a good breakfast. Otherwise, I would have some yogurt with some berries or something. And again, the yogurts are really good for your gut, and berries are very good for the fiber and give you energy. And it has protein, because I usually do use a protein yogurt. So come along lunchtime, I want a little bit of better food. I am a big shrimp eater, so just steamed shrimp, sometimes with a little cocktail sauce, sometimes with some lemon, and occasionally I'll have some leftover vegetables. I'm not huge on leftover vegetables. Sometimes I'll chop up a cucumber and have some cucumber slices, or just a very small salad, maybe with a vinaigrette, but sometimes I just totally skip that and just eat the protein. Occasionally I'll have some grilled chicken, and one of my go-tos is turkey loaf, because I can make a turkey loaf and have it all week long, just a slice here and there for lunch. To me, that's really good. I can control what's in it. There's a store by me that makes turkey loaf for some of the delicatessens, which I do use once in a while, just if I don't have time to meal prep for myself. So those tend to be my pretty good go-to lunches. Occasionally I will have some lentil soup or something along those lines, because again, you have to get some good carbs in. And if I get a little bit hungry, I love to eat some fresh avocado or some guacamole, which sometimes I buy at the store, freshly made. So, again, that has some good fat. Or I really like cottage cheese. And sometimes I'll even treat myself with the low-fat cottage cheese with some pineapple in it. Those are my go-to snacks. Even the occasional little slice of cheese. Then for dinner, I like my lean protein. I try to eat a lot of fish. So again, grill it, put it in the air fryer, saute it. I'm big on whitefish. I love salmon. I love swordfish, all kinds of fish. And I usually have that with a vegetable, and occasionally with some quinoa and brown rice. I do cheat a little bit and buy it in the bag, and they say it's organic. Life is full of a little bit of shortcuts. You have to do what's good for you. I'm not going to be perfect. I don't swear that I'm perfect. and I'm not. Occasionally I will even have some steak. I try to get a leaner steak, kind of like filet mignon, and I try to get grass-fed if I could. Now, if I'm using butter in something, I try to also get grass-fed because the grass-fed butter has less saturated fats in it, and that is a help. I always try to have my little dessert, which I am big on cut up fruit. My favorite go-to is honeydew, and the stores by me get it from like all over the world when it's not in season here. I like cantaloupe, watermelon. I do like berries, they're not my favorite, like I said, and occasionally I'll throw some berries into my protein drink in the morning, but berries aren't my favorite. I'm not huge on apples, but believe it or not, for some reason, I like applesauce. Can't explain it, but that's the way that it is. So pretty much that's what I have. Now, when I have that craving for something really sweet and chocolate, which especially us women do once in a while, I really like the Atkins or Quest peanut butter cup covered in chocolate. It has very low sugar, and it does have some protein, and they range from 90 calories to 160 calories depending on what size that you get. And also recently I found some, I believe Atkins makes some chocolate truffles that you could have. I believe it's 4 of them for 120 calories. I never really eat 4 of them, and they taste like that big brand of really sweet truffles. So occasionally I'll have some of that, but that is my typical day. I don't really count calories, but I do try to keep a mental amount, knowing that if I've had really low calories, for example, if I've just had my protein shake and just some shrimp and a very light white fish and vegetable for dinner, yes, I might have that peanut butter cup that day, or yes, I might add the quinoa or some brown rice in with dinner because my calorie count was so low. And I do have to get those complex carbohydrates in there because it all helps with the diet. And remember, any diet, even if you're not on a diet, make sure that you stay hydrated, because remember, these medications work in your gut and they slow down your digestion, so your stomach empties a lot slower. It triggers the insulin so that you don't get sugar spikes, sends a signal to the brain telling you that you're not hungry, and water helps everything move along. Water helps you feel more full. Water helps when you don't drink enough or eat enough to keep you hydrated, protect your kidneys, along with other organs. Water helps flush away the fat. Water is so good for you for so many things. Water, water, water. I like to add LMNT electrolytes in my water because, one, it tastes good, and your body, especially while you're dieting, or I should actually call it in your weight loss journey, you lose electrolytes and you need them. So that's pretty much what I eat in a day. Now, I should say that is what I used to eat in a day. Now that I'm trying to maintain my weight and not lose any more weight while still taking the medication, I've reduced the amount. I'm trying to find that perfect spot, that sweet spot where, I don't gain weight, I don't lose weight, and I've pretty well found it, but I still have to fine tune it a little bit. So now, in the morning when I make my protein shake, I also add some Greek yogurt, and I make sure that I throw in some spinach or kale just to make sure I'm getting some extra nutrients in there. And for lunch sometimes I will have occasionally a sushi roll with brown rice, which is about 400 calories. And the reason why I have it at lunch is because my wife is also watching her weight, and she's not at maintenance yet, and I know if I start eating carbs in front of her, she's going to want them. So I try to have it at lunch while I'm at work so that it doesn't tempt her, but she's pretty good about being tempted, so I'm really not too worried about that. And I do add a little bit more snack, and I try to make sure, I know that the stores sell an organic guacamole already made up, in individual packets, so I add that into there. And again, occasionally I'll have some fresh peanut butter with some celery as a snack. I'm adding a little bit more nuts because nuts have that really good fat that you need. You judge yourself. You know what you're eating. While I'm losing weight, I try to mentally at least keep the calories between 1,200 and 1,500. Granted, I didn't log everything down, but I kind of kept a mental note. That's about this many calories, it's about this many calories. Not too much thought into it. And I didn't restrict really what I ate. If they were having cake at work, I literally had one bite. I didn't say, no, I'm not going to eat it. Sometimes I just didn't feel like it, but if everybody was doing it, I said, hey, could I just grab a fork off yours? And satisfied me. So again, if for some reason you happen to fall off of this plan, don't be too hard on yourself. This is a way of life. This is how we're going to be doing it from now on. Just start again the next day. Don't try to starve yourself to make up for it, because that's not going to work and that doesn't do your body any good. And don't think that you could work out extra and eat bad, because there's no way that you could outwork a bad diet. Proven fact. You can ask anybody that's in the fitness industry. It really comes down to what you eat. And I hate to put it this way, but kind of like calories in, calories out. And another thing, to make sure you get enough protein. You want to get anywhere from at least 75 to 100 grams of protein in a day, because with the weight loss, you can lose muscle with any diet, not just with GLP-1. And you don't want to lose muscle. And you want to make sure that you eat enough, because if you do not eat enough, your body goes into starvation mode and it hangs on to the fat. And since it's hanging on to the fat, it starts burning muscle and you lose muscle. So that could lead to plateaus and very bad eating habits. So try to make sure that you get at least 11 to 1,200 calories in a day. Like I said, you don't really have to chart it or log it, the dreaded tracking word, but somewhat keep a mental idea of what you're having, because it does help. So I hope you learned something from this. I know I have. I hope that my journey is helping you in any way. If you find that it is, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. It really does help.